Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So it looks like today we're seeing a lot of sideways action in the market, although there's been a lot of developing news with institutions regarding cryptocurrency and the overall development. In this video, we're going to be going over what that news is, what it means for the market, and everything you should expect going into this weekend, and possibly what the prices for crypto may end up being in the next few months. Guys, if you have been struggling out here, if you have been overall pretty down about the crypto market, make sure you watch this video all the way till the end, because we're going to be going over some very important news that you need to know today. Now, guys, like always, if you have not yet, hit that like button down below. Go ahead and hit that like button. That really supports my channel. As you guys know, it looks like YouTube is shadow banning and suppressing a lot of this crypto content, and it looks like a lot of people are not being able to see this or not getting the notifications like they used to. But for the most part, it looks like we're going to need a little bit more help. So if you guys can take a second out of your day, go ahead and drop a like down below on this video. That's going to help a lot. Alrighty, guys. So the global crypto market cap today is at $1.56 trillion, or a 1.18% decrease over the last day. We're seeing less volume in the market right now, down 16.63%. What this means is a lot of people are just continuing to chill on the sidelines, trying to figure out what's going to happen next. So it looks like we have both bulls and bears in this stagnation right now. We need some type of catalyst, whether it's going to propel us up, which I hope for, or even some downward movement that's going to at least help us get this ball rolling. But ever since we started seeing that market recovery, that quick bounce up earlier this week, it looks like the prices of the overall crypto market has been stagnant. Now, something I do also want to mention to my followers is that although we're seeing a lot of red, a lot of mixed things going on, this doesn't necessarily mean there aren't any opportunities in the crypto market. So here's something I want to share with you guys. If we go to the best cryptos currently, we can go to the trending, the biggest gainers, and even the biggest losers. You'll see that there is a whole bunch of movement to even make a ton of money in today's market. Now, none of this is financial advice. I'm not going to go out here telling my loved ones to go ahead and invest into Nudes coin or, Peepo coin. But all I'm going to say is there's still a lot of opportunity where you can find yourself making pretty astronomical gains in a short period of time. So check this out. Index chain up 749%, Rune up 597%, all in the last 24 hours. AMA and Ether 3x, daily short is up 475%, Light Cash 321%, Bitball 174%, and the list goes on and on. So what you have to realize with a lot of these cryptos, and the way you can discover these cryptos, because that seems to be a lot of questions that many people have. How do you find them? Well, a lot of these projects are usually the ones that first hop onto Reddit. They build a smaller community, and when they start promoting them and they get their hands on that meme coin audience, that's when we start seeing that explosion and growth with some of these lower cap coins. So just as an example, we'll take Index Chain, right? It's up, what, 1,100% right now. What we'll realize with this is sitting at 4 cents. The market cap on this cryptocurrency is at $6 million. That is not much at all. And look at the volume. We're having a volume of 98,000. So a lot of these smaller projects are going to have these high volatility where you can make a lot of money, but there is a good chance that you can lose a lot of money too. So let's take a look at the all-time chart, right? I'm not promoting this coin. I'm not pushing in any way. I'm just going to use this as an example in making money in today's market. You'll see that there are days where we have huge highs, right? Huge explosions where it literally goes almost to the moon, and after that it plummets. So let me tell you, with a coin like this, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing that pullback almost immediately after we have that rise in price. And I guess it already happened within this past week. So even on June 10th, yesterday, we had that huge spike in price. It's still a lot higher than when it was 0.003 cents earlier this week. But look at that, guys. There will be projects like this. I do not recommend it, but if you are trying to make money in this market, don't dump your entire life savings and have a little bit of money that you would consider losing and you'd be okay with as your gambling altcoins fund. So that is what we're going to use as an example. Now, aside from that, it looks like the overall altcoin market is still in the red. Cardano is at $1.47. Dogecoin is at 31 cents. XRP 85 cents. Not too much of a price change. Uniswap, $22.31. Chainlink back at $22. Polygon, $1.31. Stellar, 0.32 cents. VeChain 10 cents. So it looks like a majority of these cryptocurrencies still in the red, while Bitcoin is continuing to fluctuate in its price, consolidating still at $36,897. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think is going to happen with Bitcoin and other larger projects. Take a look at Ethereum, $2,400. I still have very high hopes for projects like Ethereum, but before we even get any type of bullish prediction on any of these altcoins we've been having an eye out on for, we got to make sure that Bitcoin does get some type of movement. Bitcoin needs to start moving. It needs to break $40,000. It needs to hold that, and that's when I will get super confident in the next stir of the altcoin season. But right now, like I mentioned earlier in this video, it looks like many people, all the TAs, anyone who has been researching this market, everyone is still so uncertain about what's going to happen. So the good thing is, if Bitcoin does dip down any lower, most of us are prepared to buy in at that lower rate. So on top of that, U.S. insurers invested $3 million in Grayscales crypto trust in Q1 of 2020. So compared to how much money these insurance institutions really have under their balance, $3 million is still a drop in the bucket. But in terms of good bullish news, this is still good for us to see. So here's what we got. During the first quarter of this year, 6 U.S. insurers invested in Grayscale crypto products. So if you don't know what Grayscale is, here's what you have to know. Grayscale is pretty much a public trust, okay? They are backed by the government, the SEC. So what happens is, if you're trying to buy into Bitcoin, there are many ways that you can do this. This trust collects everyone's money and then they buy Bitcoin. So if anything ever happens or an institution loses their keys and you have your money with Grayscale, they will have you covered because they are under strict jurisdiction with the U.S. government. Now, as regular people like us, we can actually invest into Grayscale, which is really interesting. So Grayscale stock, $30.54. If Bitcoin wasn't a bullish ride, you would actually see the price of Grayscale doing pretty well too. So they started at $10.80 earlier this year. They hit a peak of $56.70 and currently at $30.54. So the price fluctuation of Grayscale is heavily reflecting the overall sentiment and even the price of Bitcoin. So there are many other ways to invest into Bitcoin. If you don't trust yourself, using Coinbase for whatever reason, which I believe is completely fine for your average investor, you can always consider investing into the stock market like Grayscale, Bitcoin Trust, or even a mining company like Riot, and then you can find yourself making the same amount of percentage gains that you would instead of investing directly into Bitcoin. So this is just an alternative. I think it's good seeing more U.S. companies investing into these institutions. But like I said, $3 million is a lot of money. I ain't gonna lie. But in terms of how much money 6 U.S. insurers really have, it's still a very small drop in the bucket. And if we ever see movements like $3 billion, that's when we start talking. That's when I believe that's going to be real, more bullish news and towards good sentiment for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. But as of now, at least this is good to know and maybe learn a lesson on what Grayscale is and some of the options that you have as a newer investor. Now, on top of that, Jack Dorsey has been in the news quite a bit. So at the Bitcoin conference, I did watch him speak, and he was talking about having his own hardware wallet, a lot of great, interesting plans. But just recently, Jack Dorsey suggested Twitter would likely integrate the Lightning Network. So if you don't know what this is, here are the bullet points that you have to focus on. The Twitter founder had tweeted his appreciation for Lightning Network powered messaging app Sphinx Chat, prompting a follower to ask for the network to be built into Blue Sky or Twitter. Here it is. He says it's only a matter of time. Build LN into Blue Sky or Twitter, please and thank you. So just in case you didn't know what the Lightning Network was, the Lightning Network is a layer atop the Bitcoin blockchain designed to enable faster and cheaper transactions by enabling user-generated channels for sending and receiving payments. So as you guys know, one of the biggest gripes about Bitcoin is how slow it is, how much the fees add up. If I wanted to send someone money through Bitcoin, I'm still appealed as a regular retail investor to PayPal or Venmo them, knowing that I get a little bit of protection, knowing that the other person on the other end has an account, and also knowing that I'm not going to be paying any fees, and it's also very, very quick. So although Bitcoin, in comparison to other traditional forms of sending payment like wiring money or, going to the Western Union, It still beats out many traditional forms, but there can always be improvements made to the network. That's why there are a ton of these other cryptocurrencies, other altcoins that exist that improve upon these type of peer-to-peer functions. Right now, if we do have any big entities, any institutions, anyone who is a part of, I would say, the big companies that are dominating the space in today's age, like Jack Dorsey, if they begin to implement any type of Bitcoin scaling solution like this Lightning Network, I think we're going to start seeing tremendous gains in the overall development of cryptocurrency, meaning more adoption, price goes up, anyone invested is going to make more money. And with the whole idea of Bitcoin and any other cryptocurrency, if you are an investor and you're waiting for the next pump up, we need information like this to develop. We need more news. We need more confidence from other institutions. And that's when we're going to start seeing Bitcoin start going back up. And man, oh man, as much as I want to say Bitcoin is going to hit $100,000 by the end of the year, I don't want to be overly optimistic. I don't want to give anyone too far of a prediction. All I'm going to say is right now we are still very stagnant, but I'm very, very hopeful that we're going to be much more bullish by the end of the year compared to where we are now. Now, on top of that, Texas announced that they would allow state banks to hold Bitcoin. This is in similar conjunction to some of the news that we're seeing, whether it's with El Salvador or Miami. We're seeing a lot more states declare how they feel about some of these cryptocurrencies. And what's really important to know is that a lot of this change is going to take place within the state level, the county level, and different cities first before we begin to start seeing massive adoption with a lot of these regulations with the federal government and other higher institutions. So, in addition to that, we've been hearing a lot of good news from El Salvador adopting cryptocurrency, but on the opposite end of that spectrum, we also have this article here. Dutch officials call for complete ban on Bitcoin. The Netherlands must ban the mining, trading, and holding of Bitcoin because it doesn't meet any of the three functions of money and is handy for criminals. My goodness. So we're going to get this type of FUD over and over again. So whether it's the energy concern with renewables, how it's bad for the environment, or how crypto is dirty money, bad money, because a lot of criminals end up using it. We're going to hear this over and over again. I'm just not going to be surprised if this is going to continue to be one of the factors that contribute to other government entities not wanting to adopt cryptocurrency, because in reality, anyone who opposes cryptocurrency, I believe it's either they don't fully understand how crypto works or they just have a hidden agenda. With President Trump talking about how crypto is a scam and he's not worth it. And, he was the president of the United States. He's going to want to back the US dollar, and anything that opposes it or takes away from any controlling entity that he was literally the president of. You got to realize that moving forward in the future, many of these governments are going to continue using the same song, the same notes in order to create that FUD in the market. But as retail investors, our duty is to educate our brothers and sisters who are also invested to say, hey, let's do a fact check on this. So here's a little article talking about crypto, which they claim is increasingly being used for criminal activity and is a haven for illicit finance. Check this out, okay? Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says cryptocurrencies have been used to launder the profits of online drug traffickers. They've been a tool to finance terrorism. Vice President of Berkshire Hathaway says, it's a tool of kidnappers and extortionists that is contrary to civilization. New York Times columnist says, very few people are using Bitcoin to pay their bills, but some people are using it to buy drugs or subvert elections. And President of the European Central Bank says, a highly speculative asset which has conducted some funny business and some interesting and totally reprehensible money laundering activity. So like I mentioned in yesterday's video, research shows that illicit activity accounts for less than 1% of transactions when it comes to cryptocurrency. Of that small portion, scams make up the overwhelming majority of cryptocurrency-related crimes. So all these YouTube videos you guys watch, that WhatsApp number with all these scammers trying to trick y'all into Bitcoining them money into their WhatsApp, don't fall for it. A lot of the scams right now, a lot of the crime is coming from someone hacks Elon Musk's Twitter account and then does a live stream saying he's going to give away Dogecoin, things like that. Another point is that from 2017 to 2020, criminal economic activity was overwhelmingly conducted through traditional financial institutions. So you have to realize that all the same people that are giving crap about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin are oftentimes the same ones that don't have the cleanest little fingers ever. And if you do a little bit more research, you may realize that all these hidden agendas line up somewhere, and they may be coming out with these statements trying to spread the FUD in order to slow down the mass adoption of cryptocurrency. But I'm telling you, as time goes on, as the months move forward, people just will not be able to deny this, and there will be a time where they're going to try to put more regulations. We have not seen the end of it. I'm telling you, throughout this year, we're going to see much more FUD going in the market. But fundamentally, with cryptocurrency, the reason why it was developed and understanding exactly the principle and the nature of how it works, you'll realize that this is still inevitable. And this is a point that I also want to make right here, folks. It's that with cryptocurrency, I know a lot of newer investors are getting into the space because they want to make money right now. They want to make money. They want to make 300,000% increases with, MILF token and all these other smaller projects. But you have to realize, crypto, this is a project where you want to be patient, especially during times like this. This is why, for me, I'm just waiting to see how the market is going to move, and that's when I'm going to respond. If you don't know exactly what's going to happen, if all the charts are screwed up and everyone is really uncertain, sometimes the best move to make is by doing nothing. Take a break from checking your portfolio and your phone. You don't have to constantly be trading in order to come out ahead. Sometimes you may actually be making money by not doing anything at all, because you're not losing money by pouring into the market when you don't know what's going to happen next. So for anyone who is a newer investor, I know it's easy to get caught up in the moment. I know it's easy to compare yourself when you have your coworker telling you at Target, oh man, AMC, that one went up $20 in like the last month. And there's other cryptocurrencies that I made this much money on, and you got to get in on it too. Do your own research before entering these investments, because if people are telling you these success stories and you realize they've been in the space much longer than you have, by the time you enter are oftentimes the time when they dump and you lose your investment because you're the one left holding the bag. So with cryptocurrency, if you aren't going long and you invested way more money than you were comfortable with, you have to rethink this. You have to think about shaving off your profits the next time we go in a green market, and realize you should never invest more than you're okay with losing, and you should also consider investing going in long. It's just going to save you a lot more mental strain. It's going to help you to survive this market volatility we're seeing now in the early stages of crypto. Now, myth number 2, more illegal activities take place using cryptocurrency than with cash. Good old-fashioned cash continues to be the funding of choice for criminals. The United Nations estimated that $1.6 trillion in cash is laundered every year. I don't know if y'all ever remember seeing Pablo Escobar's show Narcos, or even things like Breaking Bad. You can get an idea that cash is still the primary source, even though cryptocurrency is the new wave and it's great. The reason why many criminals, first of all, choose to stay away from this is, one, because a lot of them don't understand cryptocurrency. They're still very skeptical of it. I do believe it's going to pick up as the mass adoption continues. But the other reason is actually related to myth 3 right here. And that's because cryptocurrency makes it harder for law enforcement to investigate malfeasance, which is another myth. So here are the facts. Crypto is easier to track because searchable public databases, or blockchains, the public ledger, already exists for the majority of transactions. Even the Department of Justice says so. This gives law enforcement access to substantially more information than a case involving cash, including the date, time, amount of the transaction, as well as the type of crypto used. So if I was Naughty Brian Jung and I was out here trying to sell drugs, I would not want to Bitcoin someone whatever amount of money for drugs in order to get that amount. And that's because cryptocurrency, although it seems very anonymous, we're going to move forward into a time in future where if something happens, if we're able to track all of the amounts on the ledgers and know exactly which wallet strings belong to who, then you can see exactly a full receipt on the transactions you made. With cash, you still have a smaller blueprint, and with cryptocurrency, you can get a lot more in-depth information right now that can help identify people being a part of these illegal crimes. We can also take a look at, as an example, the Colonial Pipeline. They used Bitcoin as ransom. If they said cash, it would be a little bit harder than to go ahead and just find the private keys like the FBI did and then retrieving all of that money back. So with all this information being said, what can you take away from this video? Well, first of all, anytime you hear about cryptocurrency from mainstream media or any of these quote-unquote celebrities or financial influencers that, have done well in previous markets, the internet boom and everything else, real estate, whatever it is, a lot of the times these people still don't have the full education. They don't know the real fact checks on their information. And unintentionally, a lot of these people end up giving FUD out in the market because they really don't understand the true facts behind cryptocurrency and the problems that it's here to solve. So anytime you hear any information, I would always take it with a grain of salt. I would do your own research and to figure out exactly if that's really true. Anytime you hear news about crypto, it can be taken in one direction or another. Mainstream media, it can flip it. And you have to ask yourself this too. Is mainstream media, a supportive advocate of cryptocurrency? Do they have more reason to, or would they have more reason to oppose cryptocurrency because they have been funded by traditional institutions that are making more money from other forms of companies that, cryptocurrency would eventually replace? All right, guys, thank you all so much again for watching today's video. Like always, don't forget to comment the secret word for this video, which is going to be gecko or Geico, whatever your cup of tea is. I'm going to let y'all decide that one. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you guys also have not done so already, but I'm sure if you're watching this till the end, most of you guys are. I also have some special offers for you guys. BlockFi, $250, depending on how much you deposit. You can also get better transaction fees than if you're buying Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies on other platforms. You can do that, earn interest on your cryptocurrency. You can take it out of there anytime as well. But if you use my link, you're also going to get a special deal. Webull, 2 free stocks, one valued up to $1,850. After you deposit $100 into the app where you can trade both stocks and crypto. I've been using Webull. They've been doing great. Pretty much every YouTuber who's doing heavy TA is using Webull desktop charts, so you can download it for your Mac, your PC. They've been working great and coming out with some awesome updates as well. One last thing, missing something. Patreon update. So if you guys are Inner Circle members and you're watching this right now, I'm looking to host a private live stream for our members with a certified blockchain professional tax CPA, because a lot of you guys have questions about taxes. It's better to know this information now to prepare ahead of time, so when tax season does come around, we're not all struggling out here trying to figure out what to do. So for the most part, we're going to be having that exclusive content. I will be setting it up. And from the Bitcoin conference, I did some crazy networking to line you guys up with that type of premium content. If you guys are not part of the Inner Circle yet, it is completely sold out at this moment, but make sure you follow me over on Twitter and on Instagram, because when we do open up more spots, I will let you guys know exactly when that will be. Like always, thank you all so much again for watching. Have a beautiful, great weekend. And that vlog is coming up very, very shortly, so stay tuned for that. Like always, guys, much love. Have a great day. Peace out.